Picture this. You wake up tomorrow and someone tells you that you've just lost 3 weeks of your life. Not in a hospital, not on vacation, not even sleeping, but sitting motionless in traffic, breathing exhaust fumes, watching your fuel gauge drop and your stress levels rise. This isn't a hypothetical nightmare. If you're in Bangalore, you're already living it. But here's what's infuriating. Cities around the world have cracked this code. Singapore did it, London did it, Stockholm did it. So why are we still stuck in this mess? Today, we'll dive into the tangled mess of Bangalore's traffic nightmare, and more importantly, the proven solutions that could fix it tomorrow, if we had the political will. Bangalore was once called the Garden City, but today it's the traffic capital. A city where 11.6 million vehicles jam narrow roads, where getting from Whitefield to airport can be an odyssey. Let's start with some numbers to begin understanding how bad things are. 20,000 crores. That's how much money Bangalore loses every single year because of traffic. To put this in perspective, that's more than the GDP of some entire states. 1.23 crore vehicles registered in Bangalore. That's 823 vehicles for every single kilometer of road that we have. Our 15,000 kilometer road network simply cannot keep up with nearly 2,000 new vehicles being added every single day. It's like trying to pour a river into a teacup. 16 full working days. Bangalore commuter loses 16 days of productive time every single year stuck in traffic. That's not just an inconvenience, it's a massive economic drain. Businesses suffer, productivity plummets, and our mental and physical health takes a huge hit from the stress and pollution. Behind these numbers lie everyday frustrations. Buses crawling, private cars inching, two-wheelers weaving dangerously, average speeds drop below 15 km per hour during peak times. Footpaths blocked by shops, potholes, parked vehicles. Pedestrians are forced onto the roads. Commuters often spend 1 to 2 hours just traversing 10 to 15 km in traffic. So the result? Gridlock, anger, rising air pollution, lost time, reduced quality of life. So what got us here? Why does Bangalore remain stuck despite decades of new roads, flyovers and widening projects? Let's peel the onion. It's a perfect storm of factors. First is the explosive population and economic growth. With the IT revolution, Bangalore became India's Silicon Valley. The population doubled, jobs multiplied, dreams came true, but the infrastructure didn't keep pace. Second is the over-reliance on private vehicles. Surveys and transport studies indicate that private vehicles account for 70 to 80% of all trips in the city. Public transport's modal share lags behind what it ought to be for such a dense city. The third is the weak public transport network and integration. While Number Metro has expanded, its coverage is limited, faces endless delays, and doesn't yet touch many residential areas. Bus services are overburdened, routes are inefficient, frequency irregular. Integration with fares, schedules, last-mile connectivity is inadequate. Even after new metros, most commuters can't finish their journey without battling poor connectivity or limited public transport. The last, fragmented urban planning. There's often a disconnect between land use planning and transport planning. New residential and commercial hubs emerge, but the roads to get there remain the same. The math is simple and brutal. Bangalore has just 11% of its area dedicated to roads. Compare this to cities like Paris at 25% or New York at 35%. We built a Formula One racing economy on bullock cart infrastructure. Road quality adds to the mess. Rain turns roads into obstacle courses. Poor repairs and drainage means vehicles crawl or stall, especially on underpasses and flyovers. Vehicles share lanes chaotically. No dedicated bus lanes or strict enforcement. Cyclists and pedestrians have little safe space. Road space is often misallocated, more for parking or general traffic than for people. Combine all this: weak public transport, policies that favor cars, poor street design, no pricing, and traffic jams become nearly inevitable. So, is there any hope? Absolutely. But it requires a radical, integrated approach, not just band-aid solutions. I see it as a three-pronged attack. Increase supply, optimize operations, and manage demand. Let's break it down. First, increasing supply means rapidly expanding our mass public transit. Number Metro is the backbone. Phase 3 is crucial, targeting completion by 2030, with some sections even integrating double-decker lines for efficient space use. And the suburban rail project, especially the Kanaka line, is being fast-tracked for completion by 2026. This connects the wider region, taking pressure off city roads. But here's the critical part. These big projects are useless without excellent last-mile connectivity. The BMTC, our bus corporation, needs to act as the circulatory system. We need more feeder routes, better route rationalization, shifting from inefficient point-to-point services to a smart hub-and-spoke model that connects seamlessly with metro and rail. Even though we have to solve the land acquisition nightmare for projects like the peripheral ring road, which has been stalled for 2 decades and is vital for diverting regional traffic away from the city center, we need to remember a word of caution. Simply building more roads isn't the answer. We've seen proposals for massive flyovers and underpass projects, but urban planning history teaches us about induced demand paradox. Build more roads and more cars will simply fill them up. The congestion regenerates, bringing us back to square one. We need to be smart about where our limited funds go. Several cities like Paris, Amsterdam, Seoul have success stories of converting car lanes into wide cycle lanes or pedestrian zones, and even tearing down many highways. Even though some feared traffic chaos, the city saw slower traffic growth, better air quality, and happier streets. Next, optimizing operations. Making our existing infrastructure work harder and smarter. The Bangalore Adaptive Traffic Control System is a game changer here. It uses AI to dynamically adjust traffic signal timings in real time, based on actual traffic flow. Early results show travel time reductions, and the goal is citywide deployment. And for our buses, we need to bring back and fiercely enforce the bus priority lanes. They cut travel times by 15 to 20 minutes when they were first tried, but this time they need to be well designed. Perhaps dedicated center lanes where possible, with proper enforcement and integration with our smart traffic signals so buses get priority. Beyond technology, we need to rethink our work culture. Staggered work hours for large employers, especially in IT corridors, would immediately flatten those brutal peak hour traffic spikes. And critically, we need to strategically decentralize. The creation of new, self-contained townships with jobs and homes linked by the ring roads will reduce the intense need to commute into the city core every day. Finally, and perhaps most controversially, we need to manage demand. This means making private vehicle use less attractive, especially in congested areas, and making public transport the obvious superior choice. This is where we look up to other global cities. Take Singapore's electronic road pricing or London's congestion charge. This made driving expensive. These systems make drivers pay to enter certain congested zones during peak hours. Every time you enter the city center during peak hours, you pay. The price changes based on how congested the roads are. More traffic, higher the price. Less traffic, lower the price. Crucially, the revenue generated isn't just a tax, it's reinvested directly into improving public transport. London, for instance, poured nearly £1 billion into its bus network in the first decade. There will be immediate backlash, like it happened in London. Protests in the streets, opposition parties calling you out, critics screaming this is a political suicide. But the result? Traffic reduced by 13 to 30%. Average speeds increased. Air quality improved. The city became livable again. So here's what Bangalore could do tomorrow if we had the courage to act. Foundational moves in the first year. Integrate fares and ticketing across metros, bus and feeder services. Make it seamless to transfer and create the last mile revolution. One app, one payment, seamless travel from your doorstep to your destination. Pilot bus priority lanes on key corridors like Outer Ring Road or Old Madras Road and enforce it strictly. The pandemic has given us work from home. Mandate flexible working. Stagger office timings and push carpooling. Begin public consultation and modeling for a congestion pricing pilot in one central zone. Speed up infrastructure with accountability, transparent tracking, clear deadlines, and citizen audits. In the next 2 years, launch a smart congestion pricing pilot in one zone. Central business district like MG Road or Brigade Road. Use the latest technology. No toll booths, just automatic number plate recognition. Use revenue exclusively for public transport improvements with utmost transparency. Roll out more dedicated bus rapid transport style corridors or bus lanes. Enforce parking reforms. Reduce free on-street parking. Impose dynamic curb pricing. Remove minimum parking mandates in new developments. And have a zero tolerance law enforcement. Right from illegal parking to lane discipline, technology can help ensure rules aren't just suggestions. Enforce road discipline, technology-backed fines and monitoring work quickly. Within 5 years, we need to reconfigure major roads, make dedicated bike lanes, get good footpaths, pedestrianize certain streets, improve sidewalks, remove encroachments, and we need metro on steroids. All this while, we need to remember one thing. Don't build solutions in isolation. A highway without better transit is a disaster. All pillars must act together. Also, Run strong public communication. People need to see benefits early to trust the changes. This isn't a pipe dream. It requires political will, interagency coordination, and us, the citizens, demanding these changes and adapting to the new ways of commuting. We as public have to bear short-term pain that leads to long-term gain. Bangalore can reclaim its reputation as a dynamic, livable city. It won't be easy, but the cost of doing nothing is far, far greater. So here's my question for you. What would you sacrifice to cut your commute time in half? Would you pay 50 rupees to drive in the city center if it meant traffic flowed smoothly? Would you support politicians who had the courage to implement these tough but necessary solutions? Tell me in the comments. If you were the Prime Minister for a day, which solution would you implement first? Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends who are also stuck in traffic, and subscribe for more insights into urban challenges and solutions. The solutions exist, the examples are proven. The only question is, do we have the will to implement them? Your move, India.